consensus is a word that should never be used when we talk about prospects, just because teams look at these guys all just a little bit differently, both with how they play on the field, but also what, off the field as well. Just, personality wise, and medicals are a big part of it. Like, there's so many factors here. And this year, more so than probably most, it's a little more, up in the air with how some teams, how they feel. In my opinion, I think there's those two guys we talked about, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter. To me, that's the 1-2. Like, that's the top tier. And then I think there's the next tier is about 10 guys. And then the next tier, that third tier, is about 50 guys in terms of being similar in grade and where you have them on the board, where most teams have them on the board. And so it gets interesting at that point where, after we get past some of those, we know, Mason Graham, defensive tackle from Michigan, we know he's going to go somewhere probably in that top 10 area. A couple of these other guys we know are going to go high. But, we have two tight ends at the top of this draft, where tight ends don't usually go in the top 10. So how are teams going to react to that? The pass rushers in this group are talented, but they all have something about them that's maybe just a little bit different, where, Shamar Stewart from Texas A&M, freaky athlete at 6'4", 275 pounds, but he didn't have more than 1.5 sacks in any of his seasons at Texas A&M. So how, different teams will look at that a little bit differently with the production issue with him. Mike Green from Marshall, yeah, he did most of his production, which was a lot of it. Most of it came against Sunbelt competition. Also, some off-field stuff with him that some teams are more comfortable than others. So I think that position by position, there's something that, you look at the top of this draft, and every team looks at it a little bit differently, which from my standpoint is, can be frustrating at times when you want to talk about these players and where they're going to go. I'm the quote-unquote expert. I'm supposed to know. But the truth is, it's going to be a fun draft night, because there's a lot of these things that we just don't know, because teams are going to look at these players so differently. And trades, obviously, that'll mix things up. But just the players themselves, the wide receivers are ranked differently from team to team. From T-Mac from Arizona, some teams like Golden, some teams don't believe any of these receivers are worth a top 20 pick. So there really is a wide range of opinion when we talk about the top 15, top 20 of this draft.